Hi, Catherine Kyle here from greenthickies.com. Today I am going to talk about how to heal cavities naturally, and this is going to be the first of a series of videos all about teeth, because I believe that a lot of disease begins in the mouth, and if you can keep your mouth and your teeth healthy, then you can stand a really good chance of keeping the rest of your body healthy. So if you watched my previous video, I gave you an update on the state of my teeth. Like, I've got a lot of teeth problems. A lot of these I've been there for a long time. Like when I was 8 years old, I fell off my bike. I chipped my front teeth, knocked my teeth on the ground really hard, chipped my front teeth. They ended up cutting my tooth off. They gave me root treatment and a crown. And then later on in life, when I was pregnant, these developed an infection. They had to remove the teeth, and now I've got implants there. Now, 2 years later, I discover that I've still got an infection there, and it's gone to my bones. My bones have gone. The infection's gone to my bones. My bones disappeared. I've just had to have surgery where they have gum flap surgery, where they got rid of the infection. We don't know. He says it's more than likely going to come back again, but they got rid of it. They put the bone graft on, and then I'm just healing at the moment. But I have been researching so much about teeth. I've read all these books about teeth and how to improve your health naturally, your teeth health naturally. And because I am just so fed up of having infections in my mouth, of having extractions, fillings, root treatment. I'm fed up of it all, and I just want to get to the bottom of it now. So I have made it my mission to read everything I can about teeth. And another problem I had with my mouth was when I was growing up, we didn't really eat much sugar. I didn't have any teeth problems. I had no cavities or anything growing up. And then when I went to university, when I went to college, I got given a free dental card, which meant I could get free dental treatment. And I went to see this dentist who was really horrible down there, and I'd always had regular checkups, and nothing was ever wrong with my teeth. But on this occasion, she didn't even tell me that I had a problem. Like, I had no pain in my teeth. As far as I was concerned, there was no problem in my teeth. I went for a checkup, and then she started drilling, and she just gave me 10 fillings in one go on both sides of my mouth, and she didn't even tell me that she was doing it. And I suspect that she was, just trying to get the money from this, and because it didn't cost me anything, she probably thought, oh, it won't really bother her. But it just meant a lifelong series of problems with my teeth after that. So I had all these nasty amalgams in my mouth, and there's just been one problem after another. I think I grind my teeth when I sleep. That's another thing I have to look into. And they just keep falling out again and again and again, and just keep getting more and more bigger and bigger fillings, which lead to then root treatment. You get infected, you get root treatments, the root treatments get infected, and then you end up having to have the tooth removed. And so I've got like a series of gaps there. I've got no molars left on the bottom of my mouth. I've got all my wisdom teeth apart from one out, and I've got these 2 implants. So I do have a mouth full of teeth problems, and these started, at the age of 8 when I fell off my bike, and then 19 when I was at university. I had nothing but problems. So although my diet's really good now, there's been a few periods of, times where I've eaten more sugar, but most of the time, say 80% of the time for the last 8 years, I've had a really healthy diet. And one interesting thing that I noticed today, because I want to talk about, there's so many things I want to talk about, and I'm going to make more videos in the future about all these other topics, but today I specifically want to talk about healing cavities, because I've noticed something really interesting. Like, every time I moved house, and I've moved house a lot, so I've moved maybe like every year, every few years, I've moved to a different area, and that means a new dentist, and that means every time you go to a dentist, they do a new x-ray. And just pause that. Sorry about that, there was a knock at the door, so I'm back again. So as I was saying, every time I have moved to a new area, I've got a new x-ray, and they seem to find a problem that needs to have a filling. And I've just always trusted them that they know what they're doing, but I've never had any pain. Not had any pain. I've not noticed anything. There's been no shrinkage of my enamel. There's been no damage to my enamel. There's been no discoloured marks on my teeth, and I've not noticed anything myself. And what I've read, I've started reading this. Well, I've finished reading this book called Cure Tooth Decay by Ramil Najal, I think that's how you pronounce it, and I'll leave a link with this video so you can go and have a look at that. And I read this book, and he said he noticed the same thing himself, that every time he was having an x-ray, that they were recommending that he had some drilling done and they had a filling put in. And this is quite concerning, really, because the x-rays, they don't always pick up things, and sometimes it's just a little shadow that they notice, and they just assume it's decay, and it's not. And this is what I've had, all the time. And quite an interesting thing, actually. The last couple of years, I've been reading more about healing cavities naturally, and so we moved to this new area. I think it was about 2 years ago now. So I started this new dentist, and he did an X-ray as usual, and he said, I noticed on the X-ray you've got a little area that needs a new filling. It looks like you've got tooth decay, and you need to have a filling. And for the first time ever, I said to him, well, I would just like to leave it and see if it heals up naturally. And he said, okay, fair enough. Just nobody ever says that, but okay, fine. You can see if that happens. And to be honest, I totally forgot about it. That was 2 years ago, and I completely forgot all about it until I've been reading this book, and it jogged my memory, and I suddenly remembered, hang on a minute, I've been to the dentist numerous times since then. I've had x-rays since then, and I've also been to another dentist because I've just started seeing this new holistic dentist, and he's also done a inspection of my mouth and new x-rays, and nobody has ever said there's a problem in that area, so that has completely healed. So for the first time ever, I have managed to heal a cavity naturally, and I am over the moon about that. And I didn't even realise that I had done that because I completely forgot about it. So that is the good news, that even though I do have a mouthful of teeth problems, I did have some small success and managed to avoid a further filling in my mouth. So how do you do it? How do you heal cavities naturally? Well, if you read that book, it's an amazing book. There is not one single word in that book that is not important. And he said that mainly it's down to diet. And this is the thing: when you go to the dentist, it's just about treating the symptoms. So the symptom is you may or may not have tooth decay, but if you have tooth decay, then they treat the symptom of the tooth decay, and they drill into your mouth, and really that just creates a new problem in your mouth. That's just one additional headache that you didn't really need in your mouth. So he in Cure Tooth Decay, he said that it's mainly down to diet how you can cure your tooth decay naturally, and the dentist will never ever, unless you've got a holistic dentist, they will never tell you that. They are not interested in helping you heal, because then they don't get paid. So it's most people's diet, and this is the hard thing, that most people will not be able to heal their cavities naturally, because most people's diet is just too bad. The thing that makes cavities in your mouth is a processed food diet full of refined sugars, refined carbs, and basically just processed packaged food, that it does a lot of damage to your body. And dentists will always tell you that it's the bacteria that causes your tooth decay, but in this book, Ramil says that it's not actually the bacteria. That's a myth. He said that it's the reason why you have got strong teeth or you don't have strong teeth is down to the vitamins in your body, the nutrients in your body, and how strong your body is at combating that external problem, the external things that are trying to cause problems in your mouth. So if your body is healthy and you've got all the nutrients, it produces, it changes your saliva, and the saliva produces a very protective layer over your teeth that protects it from any decay. Because there's some people in this world who eat all the junk food and they still have really healthy teeth. Like my husband is one of them, that you just he can eat any amount of sweeties and his teeth are strong. He never has any problems with them ever, whereas I have a really healthy diet and I seem to have every problem under the sun. And I think it's because that your body is probably already weakened, like from your childhood. It didn't have the right nutrients in your childhood, so your body is not strong as it needs to be. And two, you currently don't have the diet that is going to protect your mouth from any further cavities and problems. So what is the right diet for protecting your teeth? So a diet that, I mean, there's certain degrees of diet that you can go down, but there's another amazing book by Dr. Weston Price, and this, like, I would absolutely recommend everybody read this book. It is so enlightening. And Dr. Price travelled this was maybe in the 1920s, I think, 1920s, 1930s, somewhere around that time period. It was when people were still eating their traditional diets before the whole world was overtaken by processed junk food. And he travelled all over the world and he found these indigenous tribes who were still eating very traditional diets. And he found people, and they all ate completely different food. But the thing that they had in common was that they ate traditional food, traditionally prepared food that was made from scratch, nothing that was packaged or processed. And he said anybody eating that kind of diet had strong, healthy teeth. But as soon as they started eating a Western diet, they started getting problems with their teeth. And what Dr. Weston Price did was he found loads of children with tooth decay that they already had lots of teeth problems because they'd been eating the Western diet. And he put them on a special diet, and this diet consisted of just one healthy meal a day. And he said for the other meals, they did continue to eat the junk food because that's what the parents were feeding them at home. Like they ate the kind of processed breads and jams and tinned food and stuff. And but this one healthy diet was enough to reverse tooth decay and turn around their teeth and prevent any further problems in their mouth. And so he found that you don't have to eat a perfect diet all the time, as long as you get a massive amount of nutrients in your diet that can still protect your body. So in the book Cure Tooth Decay, I think he was advocating for a really perfectly healthy diet. And I think it depends, like if you've already got tooth problems, then you'll probably want to make your diet as healthy as you possibly can to give yourself a good fighting chance. But if you don't already have tooth problems, then you can probably afford to keep your have a few processed treats still in your diet. But obviously the better your diet is, the healthier your whole body is going to be in the future. So these are the things that he recommended eating in the book Cure Tooth Decay. He said that the most important nutrients in your diet are vitamins A, fat-soluble vitamins A and D, vitamin E, and vitamin K, and especially vitamin K2, which most people are deficient in, and that needs to be combined with the other vitamins to really heal your teeth. So if you're just lacking in one of those, then it might be too much for your teeth and your teeth won't be able to protect you. So where do you get these vitamins from naturally? Because you can take synthetic vitamins and your body might not be able to absorb them. So it's better you can cover both of your bases, take the supplements and change your diet, but your body's going to absorb the nutrients more from a healthy diet than it is from vitamins. And also when you're eating a healthy diet, it makes your digestion settle down, and that means you're much more able to absorb nutrients from both your supplements and your diet. Whereas if your digestion's all over the place, then you probably can't absorb your nutrients properly. So that's why a healthy diet's really important. So it starts in the gut. It also impacts on the teeth, and then if you've got unhealthy teeth, then that causes problems in the rest of the body. So it's all a cycle. And one thing I maybe didn't mention is the teeth are actually alive. They're not just some dead thing, you know, like a bit of hair that can just be cut off and, you know, won't have any impact on your body. Teeth are actually alive. So if you damage them, it damages something that's alive in your body, and they do have the ability to repair themselves because they are connected to your body. There's fluid that goes constantly into your teeth, from your body through your teeth into your gums. It goes both ways. So that's why you can actually heal your teeth from your diet, because it goes both ways in your body. So what healthy foods should we be eating? Now, he recommended taking a cod. I mean, this is a supplement, but I guess it's food because it comes from an animal. He recommended taking cod liver oil capsules, and he recommends making sure that they're a very, very good source of cod liver oil, that it's a natural cod liver oil, and that you do your homework before you start to take your cod liver oil. And I personally, I've got a fish phobia, so I am terrified of fish, but I can still actually tolerate taking the capsule because it's got the stuff over the top, so I'm not in contact with the fish, and then it's in my stomach, and then I try not to think about it. But so I've started taking these supplements, and I did actually take them. When did I last take them? I think it was about 3 years ago when I had this infection. I started reading a lot around curing infections, which infections are a lot harder to cure than decay. Because, you know, once you've got an infection, that's it. It's, you know, you've gone past the point of being able to heal it naturally often. Sometimes you can, but it depends how severe the infection is, I guess, especially not if it's gone to your bones. So yeah, last time I was about 3 years ago, I started a course of these cod liver oil supplements, and I didn't continue them, which was stupid of me. So I've started taking them again, and I take the I've forgotten what they're called, the something pastures. I'll try and remember the name and put a link to that on this video as well. But there's been a bit of controversy over you know, which are the healthiest cod liver oil supplements, and there's two that seem to be recommended. I think is it the Nordic Naturals, or I think that might be the other one. So there's two that are kind of recommended, and in this book he recommends both of them. So I'm taking that now. So he says if you get your fat soluble vitamins A and D from there, and I also take my vitamin D capsules. I take 10,000 IU a day when I'm run down. Usually I take 5,000 when I'm not run down, and because I don't get any sunshine here, no, you know, and lately since I've been really wiped out by this, I have not got any fresh air either. So taking high levels of vitamin D, the vitamin E as well, and vitamin K2 supplement, because a lot of us are lacking in vitamin K2. So they're the supplements you can take. And then what about the food? What food does he recommend eating? So the food he recommends eating are meat. And if you're going to eat fish, make sure that they are from, you know, wild source, that, you know, to protect your body from too much mercury. I think it's pretty much in everything now, mercury, but you can protect your body and don't eat it too often. So mainly meat, like any types of meat, but especially, and this is probably most people will be grossed out by this because I am and I can't do it, but most the organ meats, they're the best, they're the healthiest meats by far. You know, like the liver and the, I don't know what else, just all the disgusting stuff that you just don't want to eat. They're the things that are really good for your teeth and for you generally your health. So if you can stomach them, then by all means eat those. I can't stomach them. I started buying these desiccated liver capsules from make sure they're from pasture raised animals. Like, don't eat any organs or any meat from any animals that are not pasture raised. They must be from a healthy source. The animals must be outside, not factory farmed. If you eat meat, that is. Weston Price also didn't find any indigenous tribes that were healthy that didn't eat animal products, and this was a book that actually encouraged me to switch from veganism about 3 years ago. I used to be a vegan, which I loved, but I was not well. I decided to, and I was anemic, so I decided to do a lot of reading. I read this Weston Price book, and he was the one who convinced me not to be a vegan anymore. So Who knows? We don't really know. There's some people seem to thrive with veganism, some people don't, but this, we're talking about teeth specifically here, and Ramil thinks that you can't be healthy as a vegan, and Weston Price thought the same thing, because all these indigenous tribes were eating animal products, and especially the organs. They would give them to the pregnant women because they needed the nutrients more than anybody. So meat is one of them. Vegetables, a high amount of vegetables. Make sure they're organic so you don't get the nasty pesticides. Just eat as many vegetables as you possibly can. Like at least half of your plate should be vegetables. Some fruit in there, like Weston Price did. Like a lot of people avoid fruit when they have teeth problems, and I don't avoid fruit because I think it's good for you as long as you eat the whole fruit. I think when you start juicing, it can be very sugary, and your body it hasn't got the fibre, so your body doesn't tell you when to stop. So I think eating the whole fruit, either in a smoothie or just eating the fruit, is really good for you because the fibre will slow you down and it will help your body to process it more. But you still do need to take care of your teeth after you've eaten some fruit because it still does contain sugar. So, rinse your mouth out with water. Don't brush it immediately because you might wear away the enamel. So rinse with water, maybe do a salt rinse after you've had something with fruit in it, and also limit, I'll do another video on this, but limit your eating to specific times. Like don't snack all the way through the day, don't keep munching on fruit all the way through the day. Have your meal, eat it fairly quick, like don't rush it, but enjoy it, eat it as quick as you can, just like focus on it, be mindful when you're eating, finish off your meal and then stop, rinse your mouth out, do a rinse and then stop eating until your next meal. And if you do that, if you eat your fruit with your meals, and this is what we do with green thickies because that is a complete meal, it's got everything you need in that one smoothie, and fruit is part of that, so you just have that and then you stop eating, you don't snack until your next meal. So fruit can be part of it. Weston Price often he mainly cooked his fruit actually. He gave them cooked fruit after their meal. So I'm not sure exactly why he cooked it, but that's what he did. So he did give fruit. So fruit is part of it, and eggs, especially if you are a vegetarian, then you definitely need a lot of eggs in your diet. And a dairy is also mentioned in this book. Now, dairy is a controversial subject because lots of people are having dairy issues, me being one of them. Lots of people are intolerant to dairy, they can't stomach it. It turns out it's pasteurised dairy that's actually really bad for your body. So, sorry about that. So yes, it's a pasteurised dairy that causes most people the problems. So most people might be better to remove the dairy completely if you can only access pasteurised dairy. Some people can tolerate dairy, but if you can tolerate dairy, it's better to find raw dairy. So if you can find a source of raw dairy, then you probably would want to be eating that with some pastured butter. Make sure the animals have been out to pasture, and then you'll get some nutrients and calcium and some of these vitamins from the dairy products as well. Like I personally didn't eat dairy for a very long time because I was intolerant to it, and my meal planning system, the leaf system, it doesn't include any dairy because most people don't tolerate it well at all. But if you do tolerate it well and you want to include some dairy in your diet and you want to protect your teeth, then look for a source of raw dairy from pastured animals. Do your homework, make sure it's healthy, otherwise avoid it completely. So that's the only foods that are recommended for curing tooth decay, and it does seem quite limited, but you would be surprised how many meals you can actually make with these foods. And this is what we do with the leaf system actually, and this is probably why I managed to heal my cavity, was because I was eating this really healthy food. We in the leaf system, it's split up into two halves. There's half of the meal plans have got animal products in them, and these have got meats and eggs but no dairy, and then the other meal plans are for people who choose to be a vegan, and like this is the healthiest way to be a vegan, and they don't contain any animal products, but they do contain grains, because it's very hard to get everything you need as a vegan without including grains in your diet. So they do include grains. So in the book Cure Tooth Decay, Ramil recommends that you take out grains completely if you've got tooth decay, because grains contain phytic acid, and that can be really problematic for your teeth. There's actually a book called Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon, and if you are interested in still eating grains but you want to eat them in the healthiest way to protect your teeth, then I recommend getting that book, because it's got hundreds of recipes in them, and she's got a whole chapter on preparing grains in a traditional healthy way. And what you need to do is soak your grains overnight, ferment them. So you've got to have an acidic medium, but I'm not going to go into all that now because that's all in that book. So if you do want to prepare grains and you've got tooth decay, then I would recommend looking at that book, and I'll put a link to that as well. And this is the way that I prepare grains now for my family. Most of the time I avoid grains myself, but I sometimes have this, and if I do eat grains, then this is the way I prepare them traditionally. So I soak them overnight, and it doesn't actually require that much more extra work. It just means you need to be a bit more organised and know what you're going to make before you make it, and it just takes you 2 seconds really to soak your grains overnight. So that's what I recommend if you are wanting to heal your teeth naturally from cavities. Then that is the diet that is going to help. So I can't wait. I'll make more videos on other teeth related things and other health stuff that I have been delving into lately, but that's all about Cure Tooth Decay naturally. So go and get that book and check it out. And if you want to start on the diet that is going to heal your teeth naturally, then come and join us at the Leaf System. You can get started completely free if you go to greenthickies.com/leaf system. Then you will be able to get started. You'll get a whole month's worth of meal plans completely free, and you'll be able to get started and see how that goes for you. And I can't wait to hear things about how things are going for your health and how things are going for your teeth. So let me know how that goes, and I will see you soon. Bye.